Hello everyone, this is Crystal Putoff from Prayerful Arts. Today I'm going to be doing a special request. One of my subscribers, Erin, had asked me if I would do something on wedding circles. So the wedding circle pattern looks something like this. Now in this video I'm going to be doing this pattern. I'm also going to do this one and this one. So this is a rather long video because I'm doing the same division but 3 different ways to give you 3 different looks on the egg. I'll be going through all of these. So I'm doing 3 eggs, so it's a longer video, as I said. And I also had some recording difficulties. In one segment of it, I had the camera pointing the wrong direction. And in another video, you see way too much of the top of my head. So apologize in advance for that. But I'll redo the video maybe at another time. But for right now, I wanted to get this one out there for people to see this wedding circle. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. So let's get started on this pattern. One of the things to consider in drawing this pattern, or writing this pattern, I should say, is the shape of your egg. This pattern, if you're doing it on eggs that are more oval or rounded shape, you'll get circles that are more even. If your egg is longer, like a more long shape, like kind of like a goose egg, you get more circles that are more oval shaped. The center ones might be round, but the top and the bottom might be more oval shaped. So the one thing to consider when choosing the egg that you want to write this pattern. So I have 2 here, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways that I do this. So I'm going to start, and this is just a piece of newsprint. I'm going to mark the top, and now I'm going to use my template, and I'm going to mark at the 90, 60, 45, 90, 45, 90, 45, 90, 45. So I've made 8 marks going around the egg. Now I'm just going to draw 2 of the lines that go all the way around the egg. And I'm drawing them dark so you can see them on the camera, although, you may not want to do them that dark if you don't want to see your lines at the end. And now I am going to draw the equator. On this one, you do want the equator to be fairly straight. If you feel better using the lathe, you can. But you're only going to draw this one line. I really need a new tape measure. I've used so much I can barely see the numbers on just from like here to the 10, here to the 8 to 10, because that's the part I'm always touching like this. You can hardly read these, but then you get back out here and you can read them just fine. I've just had it for so long, it's like an heirloom. I can hardly let go of it. You know what? Okay, I am going to do this as a dotted line. You don't have to do it as a dotted line. I just am, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. Now, the other lines that I marked, I'm going to connect those. And again, this one I'm also going to do as a dotted line. Or, not a solid line. Not my best dotted line, but hey, we're not going to see this at the end anyway, right? Not even putting wax on. This is to help us line up the circles. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, I don't actually draw the circle. You can use something like a suction cup. So I have these in a bunch of different sizes. I mean, you can use these, but the problem is you're probably not going to be able to get it exact. Well, you might be able to get it here. You're probably not going to be able to get it right up here. Yeah, it doesn't quite work because the egg isn't perfectly round. So there's two different ways you can do this. So what I'm going to do is kind of measure, but this isn't going to be exact either. It's about 3 centimeters from here to here. So if I do, and mark the 3, or you can eyeball it. The reason I drew the dotted line is I want to make sure that where I draw these petals, they are in alignment with it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw the one with the, well, I'm going to call it the big petals first. It doesn't matter if you do them big or small, just as long as you're doing them consistently. So here I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw it kind of fat, kind of like that. And then I'm going to do it the same thing up here. And then down here. And then I'll do the same thing here. Now I'm not measuring how wide they are. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And as you do this, then you kind of see the pattern come out. So here is your first circle. So now we're going to repeat that in the other ones. And again, so your circles that are in the middle of the egg are probably going to be more circle shaped, and the ones on the top and the bottom, even if you have a really round egg, are going to be a little more oval shaped, just because of the shape of the egg. And you see, I'm not measuring now the 3 centimeters. I'm just kind of looking across. I think that could have come down a little bit more. All right, I'll do the rest of these, and then I'll show you how I do the one with the skinny ones. I'm going to draw that one next. So here I have all of the lines drawn on here, and you can see, like, there's a circle and then there's a circle, so they interconnect. This is you know, there's all your wedding circles connected. So this is the one, and I haven't waxed this yet, where I drew it with really wide petals. And then I did go ahead and wax this one. It's the same thing, but you can see I did really skinny petals. So I'm not usually a proponent of drawing lines after I've started to wax, because sometimes your pencil line can get in the wax and smear it, but this one's an exception. whenever I teach this one, I usually have people wax these and then we work on the design in the center. So if you have skinny petals, you'll be able to get a bigger design in here, as opposed to something like this. You're not going to have a lot of room in here to do another pattern. So I'm going to come back and talk about the patterns I'm going to do on these, and then I have a third one here that has, I call these the petals, that are in between skinny and really big. But what I'm going to do next is, I've drawn these lines on here very darkly, and there's a person I watch on Instagram, I believe her name is Heather, and her name is South Jersey Pysanky. She draws really dark lines and then she washes the egg, and so you have very faint lines then for putting the wax on. Then the wax doesn't show up in the end. So I'm going to try that technique and we'll see what happens. So I have 3 eggs now. This is the one where I drew the pattern and then I've rinsed it off so the lines are a little lighter. I'm going to wax that one next. But these are the 2. So this is the one with the skinny petals, and this is the one with in between skinny and big. So one of the things when you get ready to wax your petals, I'm calling them petals because they look like to me it looks like a flower petal, but it makes the circle. So you don't actually wax a circle, you wax a petal. Now, I suppose you could wax the circle around if that works for you, do it that way, but that's not the way I do it. There's more than one way to do it. But what you do want to think about is on this one, they didn't touch. So see, there's a little bit of space in between. On this one, they did touch. So it doesn't matter if they touch or not touch, but I would be consistent so that your design is consistent, because you can do different things, which we'll see if they touch versus they don't touch. There's just different ways to do the design. So now I'm going to wax this one. So I'm using my Luba's electric with a fine tip, and I'm just going to wax each petal. And I think because these are so big, I'm going to have them touch. So we just start waxing the petals. The really big petals. Just like that. Now, I tend to do them in groups of 4, but you can do them however you want. You can do them in the order that you drew them. It doesn't really matter as long as you wax all of them. Okay, let's do this one. I hadn't done one where these were really wide in quite a while, so this is kind of fun to do this one. This is one, you can draw this out on paper if you want to test what you want to put in your design. But this division, kind of like the 48 triangle division, they look a little odd on paper because it's a 2D surface and you're doing this on a 3D. But you can still get an idea of what you might want to put in these, what I'm calling the petals, versus what you would put in the center of them. Give you some ideas. The other thing you can do is, if you're blowing out your own eggs and you have an egg that maybe has a lot of bumps on it, it's not really a good quality egg, go ahead and blow that out and save that to test out drawing patterns on it. If you're just drawing them with the pencil, you can always wash them off and test out another pattern on. It's a way to test out a pattern on an actual egg, but you can, because you can wash it off, you can reuse it. When I teach, I always have what we call practice eggs for people to, some people are just learning to use the Kiska for the first time, so they need practice on getting it hot and drawing lines. And then they'll keep the practice egg with them as they start drawing the design, in case they're not sure if their Kiska is too hot or hot enough. They can always touch it to the practice egg. It's just another little tip. And like I said, you can reuse the practice eggs. I will reuse the practice eggs for, I'll like melt all the wax off of them so people can reuse them. You can't really dye them because the wax is still on there, but you can use it to practice drawing your lines. All right, so we're almost done with this. And then we'll talk about what we put in the center of these. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing, but you just use your imagination on what you would like to do. And one of the reasons I like to get on this design is get the wax on it first, as it helps you see more clearly what goes inside of it. All right, so here we have our three with the fat petals, the medium-sized fat petals, and the skinny petals. So usually on this type of design, what I do next is I will draw, and you can do this with the pencil or you can just do it with the wax, but I will draw inside this area right here, so you can kind of see this diamond shape. I'll put another, and I'll draw it dark, but I put a line in here. It just goes in between them. Now, you're going to have to make the same decision. Do you want this to be a fat area or a skinny area? From here to here. Whatever it is, then that's going to determine, how much room you have in here to put something. So here we've got, I didn't leave a lot of space, and I probably will do that on this one because these are so big, I want a little space here. Now, on something like this, where it's kind of skinny, on this one, the petal is going to have a lot of detail. On this one, the petal is not going to have a lot of detail. It's going to be the diamond, the inside part, that will have more detail. So what we would do with this one is maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Let me wax it. It's just easier if I wax it. Okay. So here I'm going to, and again, because these didn't touch, this isn't going to touch. It's just going to go, I'm just going to follow it. And then I'll repeat that. I'll do another one up here. So you can see I left a little bit of space, but not a lot. And this is why I don't draw this inner diamond with the pencil. For me, it's too many pencil lines on there, and I can see where to put it after I get the outside drawn. Okay, so that is going to be my next step, putting petals in these. Now, as you can see, the inside diamond does not touch any of the outer petals. So you could have it touch. No rules here, however you want to do it. But I don't think I'm going to. It would create kind of a fun design, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's what that one will look like. And you know what? Hey, let's just take a risk. Okay, so I'm going to have it touch here, but I'll have it come out further. So it's going to kind of come out like that. So it's kind of like an outer petal, isn't it? Okay, I've never done this. All right, well, I've committed to it. So on all of these now, I'm going to wax the inner diamond, and then we're going to come back and talk about what we're going to put inside that diamond. All right, so there are a lot of decisions you have to make with this egg. I have the 3 done here. So this is, all right, this is the one where I did I made the inside diamond touch. And so I added these little lines. I thought, okay, I like that. I'm really beginning to like that. So what I want to do now is consider, what do I want to put in the diamond and in the petals. I've put, I don't know if you can see it, I drew 3 little dots. I don't know that, I'm not going to do that on the white eggshell. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to put there. But in here, I'm going to put just a simple little cross. So I'm going to use my Luba's electric with the extra fine tip, but you could also use a fine tip if you don't have one. So what I'm going to do here is, and it's not going to touch any of the lines that are there. It's going to be like that. Just like that. All right, and I'm going to put that in each of these. So I'll put and then this will then go in its first color, because I think I have enough white. So whatever I put in here will be something other than white. So I'm going to put that on all of them. Now let's go to this guy. So this is the one where the petals are wide. Here's where I drew it. The diamond inside is a little small. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do, and again, I'm using the same Luba's electric. And I think I'm going to go ahead and and wax this star. So I'm doing an 8-pointed star. And I will probably add some more colors to this as I go through the sequence of colors. So here I'm going to put this, and I will do that in all of the diamonds. So here the center part is kind of like not the star of the design, I would say. What's going to be the star of the design is going to be the petals, where here it's almost the area in between. I have the lines. I kind of look at that as a star. So here's that. So now what am I going to put in the petals? So I'm going to put a line like this, and then I'm going to draw some little lines inside of it, and then I'm going to draw a V here. I want to leave some space because I'm going to put something in between the V and the line with the stripes. So I will put that in all of the petals. And it makes kind of a cool design because you can kind of see these, they're all kind of similar. And anyway, I've done something like this before. I think I did it on a big ostrich egg, something like this. I don't believe I have the ostrich egg anymore. I think it's sold. Anyway, so that's what needs to go in that one. Now on this one. So this one, because these two, the petal and then the area in between the petal is skinny, I can make the center part be the star of this egg. So what I have decided to do is to do another version of a star, and it is lightly drawn on here, and on this one I will draw this with pencil in all of the diamonds. So now I'm going to draw, and it is going to touch the outer side of the diamond, and mine doesn't have to, however you want to do yours. I mean, you can put anything in here. That's just what I'm choosing to put in here. And sometimes when I don't know what I'm going to put in a pattern, I don't know everything, I'll put in the stuff that I know I want, and then I'll decide, do I want anything else? So like on this one that I'm working on, I don't know if I want to put anything in the petal, so I'm thinking about it. I'm pondering it. I'll do all the stars and then I'll decide what I want to do. Okay, so this needs to be repeated, that needs to be repeated, and that needs to be repeated. I will do that, and then I will have dyed the eggs in their first color. I'll be going with light colors. Pretty sure I've decided this one I'm going to do yellow, and the other two I haven't decided, but I will decide that and we'll come back and see where we're at. Here we have the three ready to be put in their first color of dye. So this was the one with the fat petals. Got all that on there. This is the one with the medium size where I had the inner diamond touch different from this. That's all on there. And then this is the one that had the skinny little petals, and these, the petals did not touch, where these, they did. So I'm ready to dye these, and then we'll come back and do some more waxing. We're back, and all three of these have been dyed yellow. I gave it some thought, and I think what I am going to do is use a similar color sequence on all three of these, but they're all going to look different because of the different style of patterns on them. So I am going to start with this one, and what I'm going to do is put some little squiggly lines in this. And they are going to go inside each one of these petals. So it's just going to be a little line, kind of goes like this. And I'm going to put it inside each one of the arms here of my cross. Like that. Okay. So that needs to be done on all of those. Now, in here, what I have decided to do is I am going to put dots in this area here. So it's kind of that diamond that's inside the circles. I'm going to make dots here. I'm not really counting how many because each one of these is shaped a little different. But there, so we're going to do that. And then I think I'm going to put 2 lines right here. Like that. Okay, so we're going to do that on all of them. Now, let me just do a squiggly line here and here. Okay, so no, we're doing there. No, we're doing here. Now we got to figure out this one. And I kind of struggled with this because originally I was going to fill in this area, completely fill it in, but I don't want to do that with yellow because I don't think I'll get the contrast, but I really wanted to use these colors. I don't want to do the dots because I already did the dots there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little line and a dot in each one of these. And I'm using my Luba's electric with the fine tip. Okay, and so I'll do that all the way around all of those. And we'll come back and they will be dyed in the next color, which at this point I'm planning will be orange. We're back with the eggs now all dyed orange. So let's put some orange on these eggs. I am going to start with, I'll start with this one with the skinny petals. What I'm going to do here is in each one of these 8-pointed stars, there's like 2 layers of it. So the outer layer, I'm going to completely fill those in with orange, or with wax, so that they will stay orange. So that's what we're going to put in here on all of them. Okay, so now I have to do that on the rest of them. Now we'll work on this one, which was the medium-sized ones there. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, oh, and I'm using my extra fine tip Luba's electric. I'm going to do this and that on all of these. All right, so that I will do that on all of them. Now on this one, I am going to, where my star is, I'm going to put a little triangle, or not triangle, it's a little diamond on each one of those. All right, and then in the petal part here, I am going to do some netting. And we'll go around and do that on all of these. Squeezing in as much as I can, because this is not a real big space, but just enough so you can kind of see what I'm doing there. All right, so I have some work to do. I'm going to wax all those areas with orange, and then the next color I'm going to use is red or scarlet. I haven't decided which shade of red I will be using, but I'll be using one of those two shades of red for my next color. So stay tuned. We now have 3 red eggs. This is actually, I put it in the scarlet. The scarlet of Ukrainian Gift Shop is a little brighter, has a little more of an orange shade to it. The next color I'm going to use is the final color, which is going to be black. So I decided to go with the yellow, or decided to go with the scarlet. Okay, it's been a day, but that's okay because now we're doing Pysanky, so all is good. All right, so I'm going to start with this one. And what do we want to stay red? Well, I've given this some thought, and this is my Luba's Electric with the fine tip. I know I want to do the 4 loopy things here, the 4 parts of the cross. So no, I will do that. Then I was toying with the idea, what do I want to put in this section? Do I want to cover it all with red? And I thought about putting like some wavy lines next to the red. Kind of like that. Oops, there was... Okay, well, I guess the decision has been made. I'm going to completely fill in all of these. Since it just blobbed on me, I guess the egg wanted it to be completely filled in. That was my other option, because this part here has a yellow squiggly line, and this has a yellow squiggly line. So it kind of gives some balance to the design to have them both. And I probably need to be using the medium, not the fine, to fill this area in. Oh, it is the medium. All right, never mind. I told you, it's been a good day. I'm doing Pysanky, so it's all good now. So we're gonna fill in these and then dye it black. So all right, so we'll fill in this and fill in those. That's what we're going to do on that one. All right, this one. This is another one I've been going back and forth on. What do I want to do? And as long as I'm taking some risks and doing new things on these, we're going to just continue that trend. So I know that I want this center part to be the red. It's got a little yellow burst in it, and then the red over the top of it will give me a nice contrast there. So let's cover that. Oops, I went outside of it a little. Okay. All right, so I cover that. Now, what I have decided to do, because on this one, the petals, when I was drawing what I call the petals, they did not touch. So they don't touch, so there's a gap. So what I'm going to do, and this will take me a little while, but I am going to completely fill in this area in between the diamond and the little petal, and I will have to go around all of them. So what it will look like when I dye this is that the red will be connected because the petals are not. So because the petals are not connected, the red will be. I'm not sure how this is going to look. It might be a little overwhelming to me with the red, but I'm taking the chance because I'm all about taking chances. So then we'll, so then I'll go all the way around this one. And so inside these, that's what will be black. And then the other part that will be black is around this star. So it'll kind of be yellow, red, orange, black, red, black. Okay, so that's that one. Now, this one. So this one I'm going to fill in the center like that. And then I'm going to fill in not where the white part is, because, and this is a me thing. When it's white stripes and I put red there, all I see is a candy cane, and I don't want to see a candy cane. So I'm just going to put red there and there. Now I had thought about filling in that with red too, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to stop there. And so this one is going to have minimal red on it. That's my plan right now. So I'm going to completely wax these things that I want to stay red, and then I'll decide if I do want to put more red on it. But I don't think I want to, because I'm filling it in on that one. And even though on these the petals touch, I kind of feel like I want each one of these to have a little bit of a different look. So I think we might just go with it like that. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. I'm trying to picture it in my mind. So that's what it'll look like. I think that'll look good. Okay, so got a little work to do on all three of these. The next color they're going in is the black. Just a little hint on black. If your egg is red, sometimes, and this kind of goes with whether it's Ukrainian gift shop, Pysanky USA, or Ukrainian accessories. A lot of times if your egg is a red color, now this is scarlet, but particularly if it's red, and you put it in the black, it doesn't like to cover it very well. So there's a couple things you can do. One is you could rinse off the egg and then dye it black. The other thing you can do is you could dye your egg in a green color, like a dark green color, and then put it in the black. You put it in the dark green color, you're probably going to get like a browny muddy color, but then dry it off and then put it in the black and you'll get a deeper black. So I'm going to see what happens when I dye these. I'm going to put it right in the black. If that doesn't work, then I'll probably put it in the dark green and then in the black. So just a little helpful hint there on dyeing your egg black over red. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll just wait and see what happens. It'll be time for the reveal when we come back. So here they are, all waxed and dyed and ready for the wax to come off. I just love them. All three of them are great. I love that we took some chances and did some new things with these. This has been a lot of fun, and we'll have to do something like this again real soon. But next week, I have a challenge pattern that someone sent to me that I'm going to try to do something completely new and see how that turns out. Thanks for watching.